Battle Creek Public School, they're always aiming for excellence. I think that's what really makes the district really pop up, because some students say we have trouble at consistency. But at the same time, I think that these changes are to provide better environment and better school system and fulfill the needs of each and every student, because all our needs are different.
Entering year 3, we were very excited about the launch of 2 new schools. We had the opportunity to launch Fremont International Academy, which has an IB focus for grades pre-K 5. And then we were celebrating the new addition of BC STEM Innovation Center, which focuses on middle school experience, 6 through 8. And so we wanted to allow our district to have a portfolio of choice for our families.
We were just getting things up and running. And so coming into year 3, we were really ready to create some sustainability and flexibility, but really making sure that we were focused on results now. With all this good work, with all of the inputs that we had, now what could we see as outcomes for children?
There has been a lot of work done within the district to lay the foundation for success. So there were a lot of systems that needed to be put in place, relationships that needed to be built, plans that needed to be fine-tuned. And so I think that's a lot of what has happened in the first 2.5 years. My hope is that in the next 2.5 years, that's when we'll really start to see student-level outcomes start to shift.
Part of the progress that I've seen this year in particular has been the response from the community. When we opened up Fremont, families that had moved out of the district or selected schools of choice to go to other districts came back.
If we weren't getting outcomes in spaces that we really were expecting to, we decided to take a pause and look at the systems to think about what we needed to shift in our work moving forward. And so we were really digging into data, student achievement data, but not only at the district or school level, all the way down to the individual student. What are the skill gaps that they're still having? And designing plans that we would implement in the last quarter of the year to disrupt whatever patterns were getting in the way of student success. And then COVID-19 hit. My priority has been to make sure that the basic needs of the community, the staff, and our students are first and foremost before we could even begin to talk about continuity of instruction or learning. How do we make sure that all students who rely on us for food on a regular basis have that need met? Then we can start thinking about, okay, what does continuity of learning look like?
Part of the work that they did was not just paying attention to ensuring students had the academic resources that they need, but that they had the social and emotional support that they need. And so they redeployed some of their staff in different positions like Bearcat coaches to do calls to children and families just to see how they're doing.
Are you eating at home? Yay, good.
The district has done a good job in supporting everybody that's been needing some support. They've been handing out lunches, handing out Chromebooks, trying to be there for everybody because it's a tough time. And a lot of people don't have the resources at home that they get at school.
I love how Battle Creek has always been so connected with the community. I think that's something you hear anywhere you go when you talk about Battle Creek Public Schools, and people love to support Battle Creek Public Schools. And so I kind of wanted to be a part of that. Having the community on your back if there's anything you need is nice to have.
Secondarily came academics. How do we move from face-to-face instruction to total virtual instruction, knowing that many of our families didn't have the device or the internet to connect with us?
We understood the messagings that were needed in order to reach all families. We were able to definitely communicate on a regular and frequent basis with our families as new information was made available and as our plans started to develop.
In the last 12 months, We have purchased and deployed nearly 1,200 Chromebooks to various schools. What I'm really, really proud of is that we've already kind of been doing a lot of this work with our Innovation Council throughout the year. So a lot of the tools that were being promoted throughout the year before this crisis hit are now tools that we're using on an everyday basis. Zoom, Google Hangouts, Google Voice, Google Docs. All of those things we wanted people using these tools all along. We wanted them to integrate them on a regular basis and see the value. We really just didn't think that this would be the case in which that would need to hurry up and be done.
So part of the transformation of Battle Creek Public Schools really from the beginning was also about the transformation of the Battle Creek community. Such a significant investment was meant to disrupt the inequities that have existed in Battle Creek. And for Battle Creek to be a great place to live, we have to also look at our own history and look at the inequities that have existed and persisted within our own community.
In thinking about how we start the year next year, normally I try to get teachers to spend the first couple of days building community, but I think we're probably going to focus in more on the first week of saying the first week of school is all about community building and getting kids back into a groove of being together and really focusing on social emotional needs, what that looks like at the classroom level, but then also thinking about what that looks like at a teacher team level and then at an academy, so our smaller learning community level as well.
This transformation and the way in which we've had to be responsive over the years to create change prepared us to be responsive in this situation. And I know that we were making some significant gains and headway for vulnerable populations. And now coronavirus has the ability to turn over all of that work in an instant. But you will see that Battle Creek Public Schools will be a model for trauma-informed care in the implementation of restorative practices.
This is a moment in time where many of our community members, particularly our Black communities, are hurting. They live in fear. And the classroom has to be a safe space for them. It also has to be a place where they can see themselves. So we will be supporting the district in whatever they need to ensure that the curriculum at Battle Creek Public Schools reflects the social justice of this moment.
Year 3 taught me very specifically to be strategic in my approach, to make sure that what we're hoping to accomplish is being measured and there are indicators of success. I'm excited for year 4 because I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to put a plan together to reopen and to recreate a new normal for Battle Creek Public Schools that still situates itself in the transformation efforts, but it will take a different approach.
You just graduated kindergarten. Who was your teacher?
Miss B.
Miss B, do you have anything to say to her? What would you like to say?
I love you, Miss B.
Oh, congratulations.
I love you, Miss B.
Yeah.
I love you, Miss B.
Awesome.
Now all of our efforts have to be refocused on an accelerated learning recovery plan. How do we recover the learning that was lost as a result of the COVID-19 crisis and continue to move kids forward? And at the center of that is equity. So how do we ensure that whatever we do is disrupting the inequities that are going to exist for the children that we serve?
What makes Battle Creek Central special is the community around it and the support that you get from everybody. It's like a huge family. I think that's the special thing about Central is we are able to stand up for each other and stand up for our school. I think it's just a good community and you can build a lot of bonds and friendships. And I'd pick Central over all the other schools.